Welcome back, Guardians. In this report, we will cover one interpretation of the fearsome ogre Golgoroth. Oftentimes, reports and information can be cut and dry, simplistic. Other times, there is room for doubt and potential misinformation. This is but one interpretation of Golgoroth, his formation, and what his creation means for the future of the Hive. From the outside perspective, we can provide details to this truth, that Golgoroth is undoubtedly an abomination of unbelievable power. He is, or rather, it, was created to fulfill one purpose: provide a tithe for Oryx through indescribable violence. Imagine for a moment if Golgoroth was dropped on a population center, in the middle of the city, for this example. Thousands, if not more, would be lost, their lives extinguished to serve some magnificent purpose for Oryx. And what if we couldn't stop it, our weapons of light failing to offer defiance? Golgoroth would grow ever powerful. The more innocents he slew, the greater the tithe to Oryx. You see now why we must stop him. This scenario in any context is unacceptable. You must destroy it. Past the war priest, past the dimming shadows of his cellar, Golgoroth awaits your light. But your battle with Golgoroth is also a test. You test Eir and Zol, the worm gods, and their creation. You see, Golgoroth is much more than an apex ogre. It is much more than uncontrollable rage to fathom into flesh and bone. Golgoroth is an infusion of the essence from Eir and commandment of Zol, two of the many Hive gods. Together, these tablets, as they are defined by the Hive, act as the genes for Golgoroth's creation. Ogres were originally thralls, but through ritual and torment at the hands of Hive wizards, they were transformed into an unbridled and uncontrollable rage. A mindless weapon, much like your sidearm or grenade. These tools will not act unless you transfer your will upon them. But Golgoroth is potentially different, as no other ogre before him has been given a tablet or essence of the worm gods. Zol would command Golgoroth to consume, whether that be light or life is up to interpretation. Eir would provide the shape or purpose, the last truth, which we understand as the apex being or civilization, something able to defeat the heat death or entropy of the universe. Golgoroth is the only ogre that we know of to have this essence of godhood placed inside its being, placed there by Oryx at the resentment of his son Crota. Crota wished for these commandments, these tablets or essences of the worm god, to be placed upon his blade, so that one half of his sword could be offered as a tithe to Oryx and his worm. But Oryx did not give Crota what he sought, for he taught Crota to want for nothing. Instead, he placed these tablets of the worm gods into Golgoroth, or so the Hive saga goes. But so many questions arise. Does Oryx have complete control over Golgoroth, or is it another mindless weapon of the Hive arsenal to be set upon the enemies of the worm gods? These are questions I am ill-equipped to answer. The Hive lore fascinates us in a multitude of ways. What we understand of our enemies increases each day, each victory, and every defeat. Perhaps Golgoroth is a hybrid of Taken and Hive, not fully controlled by the will of Oryx, but subject to the sword logic. The Hive and their gods are a great wonder. They have such power upon their subjects. They can create such magnificence as Golgoroth. It is the very essence of hatred, the weapon of wrath, and the catalyst to our proposed destruction. And it waits for you. Your challenge has been heard throughout the Hive. It rings amongst their being. The fibers of their existence can feel your weight upon them. Their worms know your name. They question if they have chosen poorly. You see, your presence is indescribable. You defeated a demigod, a sun, and now this Golgoroth, this apex being, slumbers in a pool of liquefied light. and its tendrils reach out for you in a vain attempt to claim your light, claim your purpose, and propose that you are not the final truth. These worm gods believe they can shave off pieces of themselves and infuse it with the underlings of Oryx in the hopes to end you and drink upon your being. Golgoroth is being drip-fed, liquefied light, a form of light reportedly seen at the altar beneath Crota in a chalice. Light is delicious to these hive, but it is also a source of power. If Zol commanded consumption, then Golgoroth has been gifted or perhaps provided light throughout his chamber, hanging from ceiling outcroppings. The hive arrogance is foolish. Use these offerings of light against Golgoroth, and you and your comrades may understand why the hive seek our traveler. Raw power in the form of pure light is incredibly dangerous, and the ramifications of consuming this light, if there is any, remains unknown. Perhaps Guardians unknowingly fulfill the commandments of the worm gods, specifically Zol, by this consumption. Or perhaps it was a simple miscalculation. The interpretation is yours to decide. Yet, in all their infinite wisdom, in all their eons of warfare, the mountains of bones at their feet, these worm gods have grown fat on victory, grown fat on the idea that the hive and Taken can surpass all, that they are on their way to perfection. All you must do is defy them. Propose that you and the guardians that stand at your shoulders are more than capable of realizing this final truth. Defeat Golgoroth and annihilate the notion that the worm is superior to your will.